Hi friends, Katie Carlson here. It's been a hot second or two since I have been online or going live, and I just wanted to pop on and say hello. And if you saw my post earlier, I posted a little bit about business mastery and some of the takeaways that I had. And if you hop on, say hi. I'd love to know that you're here. Hi, Eric. How are you, darling? So last week I was at Business Mastery, and if you may or may not know, I did Business Mastery back in August of this last year as a participant, and it was magical. It was absolutely incredible. I went back to Business Mastery just last week in West Palm Beach. So Vegas, West Palm Beach, a little bit different. There were some different speakers, different lineup, that sort of thing. And I was there in a different capacity. So I was crewing, and it was my first crewing experience outside of a UPW, which was beautiful in itself, in a lot of different ways. And it was... What I love so much about Business Mastery is he brings up, Tony and a lot of the presenters, they bring up mindset, like the psychology, but they really do get into the tactical pieces, like the numbers, and really understanding, your numbers and your optics from a business perspective is huge, and then if you've been to Business Mastery, you know that they talk about the 3 different types of, business kind of leaders, I guess, if you will. You're either an artist, you're an entrepreneur, or a manager leader. And we all have different components of all of them in our being. And it's just understanding and uncovering like which one is, predominant, or which one is more fully expressed. And so that was really interesting because for the first time, like I've always kind of thought of me as like an artist, which has been great. Hi, John. Hi, Betty. How are you? It's good to see you guys. So I've always kind of thought of myself as like an artist. But this time I was like, maybe I'm more of like a manager leader. I have a little bit of entrepreneur because I like to take certain risks and everything. And based on what Tony talks about, like with an entrepreneur, like it's almost like they're desensitized when it comes to like money, right? Like, cash flow, like, they know that if they risk, they're going to have the reward, and they're okay to risk again. They don't get stung by, when we get stung in business. So, yeah. Oh, thanks, Eric. You saying I'm an artist all day long? Hi, Beth. How are you, gorgeous? Oh, it's so good to see you. So anyway, I'm just talking about Business Mastery. So I think I'm an artist. I definitely have some manager leader. I have some entrepreneur. And it's really fun kind of navigating those because I think it's an evolution, and it's going to constantly grow over time and like shift and change. And I don't know, my nose is getting really red. That happens. Anyway, so, but I put on this post specifically, hi, Steve, how are you, darling? Oh, I love going live. I always forget how fun this is. So it was funny. I put on here this quote, and I'm going to read it off here. 45% of what we do every day is habitual. And what's great about that is that it gives us the certainty that we need to, exist and keep moving in the direction that we're going. But what F's ourselves, if you will, is also the certainty, because we don't grow. And so what I thought was so interesting about that is, when you think about all the things that we do on a daily basis, people always talk about like a morning routine. And I know like I'm definitely have struggled at times when like I have a morning routine, and I do have a morning routine, but it's like sticking with that morning routine and holding yourself accountable or being accountable to someone else and like sticking with it. But then in that routine, you can also become a little bit complacent, right? If it's, over and over and over again. So it's like, it's a fine line of like expanding certain edges and creating, having those routines that become habits and become habitual, right? and then also giving yourself like the flexibility to grow and infiltrate variety. So I bring all this up because Jessie, hi Matt, how are you, darling? Hi Ring, how my nails look. Ring is the gal that does my nails. She's amazing. Anyway, so I'm going back to this whole thing around like habits and routines and things like that. So if you saw my post, or if you saw anything that I did it, that I like kind of the post that I was doing at Business Mastery, you knew that Sarah Blakely was there, and Jesse Itzler, her husband. Funny story really quickly. So I'm in the crew room on Sunday, and you know, crewing, you don't really have a whole lot of time to do much of anything else. And I like needed to eat. And so I was like, I'm just going to eat. I'm going to go up there really quickly and then get back down for my shift to meet with my team and go out on the floor. So not knowing who he is, Jesse Itzler walks into the crew room, and like I see a couple people being like, oh, hey, like how's it going? He's got a little bit of a like people around him. I'm like, who is that? Like, I don't know. Finally, I realized it's, you know, Sarah Blakely's husband. I'm like, oh, and literally you guys, he's in like a navy blue Gap t-shirt and this like navy blue headband. Like, I mean, kind of like he just like rolled out of bed kind of look. I mean, it was hilarious. And I was like, again, didn't know who he was. Then I found out, obviously, it was Sarah Blakely's husband. Well, he ended up speaking at Business Mastery. You guys, he was one of the most incredible speakers that I've ever seen. I mean, he was unbelievable. I was so fired up, you guys. I mean, so fired up after his presentation, speech, whatever, that like, this sounds crazy, but he had kind of like a sales offer, and it was like, it's a build your life resume or something. And I don't even really know. And I still don't really even know exactly what it is, but it was a decent price point. And I was like, I'm doing it just because I want to be closer to him. Like, I want to understand like his methodology. And if you know anything about Jesse Itzler, he was like one of the co-founders of, what is it called? Marquis Jet. Like one of these like private jet companies that Berkshire Hathaway actually ended up buying out. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was amazing. Okay, I'm not seeing these comments, so give me a second. Yes, I need to do a better job of saying improvements. Yeah, routine. I mean, yeah, and it's hard because like life happens, right? Like staying in a routine, life happens. But one of the things that Jesse talked about that I found was just like fascinating was that, you know, when we think about like our goals, right? We got to chunk them down. And so one thing that he talks about in this build your life resume is like chunking down. So like each month add a new goal or a new like habit or routine that you're going to integrate into your daily life. So it's basically like taking like a habit or a routine or a system or a process like this month, and then the next month you add something to it. And then the next month you add something to it. So it's like compounding, right? Like building that muscle, which is really awesome. They do? Oh my gosh, Beth, sorry. I'm reading Beth's comments. And kids go to the same schools. My daughter, oh my gosh. That's so fun. I mean, they're amazing. Like, they're hilarious. That says a lot. I know how many people you've seen speak. Yeah, truly. I've seen a ton of people speak. And you guys, Jesse is unbelievable. Like, he was unbelievable. So, like, I'm just going to share a couple things that he said. One of the things that really resonated with me was he was like, what are the areas in your life that you are under indexing? Like, not necessarily tapping into, or maybe not even giving yourself enough credit for. That gave me some interesting things to ponder. And then this was the other thing. He says, when your brain says you're done, you're only at 40%. And Tony talks a lot about this, like, don't negotiate with yourself. You know, like he talks about how he does like those, the cold plunges every morning when he's like, I don't negotiate with myself. Like, he's conditioned it in his body to like, he doesn't negotiate with himself because he's going to do that cold plunge every morning, no matter what. Or if he's in Sun Valley, he'll go into the freezing cold river and do a cold plunge. And so, I know I'm all over the map here, but I just, these little tidbits and these little breadcrumbs were interesting things for me to consider and like ponder of like, you know, what is it that you do on a daily basis that you can, expand or explore an edge or add something to. So as I'm doing this Jesse Itzler program, it's like over the next 14 days, like it's a pretty quick, short program. And I'll keep you posted on how things like evolve and stuff like that. Hi, Judy. Betty, he is Sarah Blakely's husband. Sarah Blakely is the founder of Spanx. I mean, what lady out there doesn't have a pair of Spanx? Like, come on. I actually have Spanx leggings and I love them. You're so sweet. Hey, I'm starting a YouTube channel. Actually, I've been uploading a bunch of videos to my YouTube channel. I will put that out there eventually, which is kind of fun. Anyway, so this is kind of getting a little bit long, but I had a point to it. Jesse always talked about, he's like, understanding what your non-negotiables are. What are your non-negotiables in life? Think about that. Like, what are your things that are non-negotiable in your life? Mine are celery juice within reason, right? Because when I was a business mastery, I couldn't have I didn't bring my juicer this time. I was flexing. I got to share a room with 3 beautiful souls. It was lovely. It was amazing. We had a blast. I brought my red light. It was hilarious. They loved it. This was a good one. This was a really good one. He's like, what are your non-negotiables, and write that shit down, because if we don't write things down, like how often, like we're not really retaining it and stuff like that. He was amazing. This was a really good thing. He said, and when you think about, like, we all get stuck. We all get in ruts from time to time, right? And he said, he goes, I didn't come this far to only come this far. Powerful, right? Like, I didn't come this far to only go this far, right? Sometimes life is going to kick us in the hiney. I don't know about you guys, but like basically from like Sunday until about, I would say midday today, I've been feeling like really heavy energy. And I got to speak with my beautiful spiritual guide and coach. And she was reminding me that like the world experienced a lot of grief on Sunday. And if you're empathic, like we feel a lot of that, which has been like, it's been a lot. And I didn't know why I was so sad, but like there were things that were coming up for me, and I was just like, oh my gosh, Katie, like feel the feels, just keep feeling those feels. And also realize like, there's always another level, right? So this was actually really interesting. You know how we always talk about, like Tony always talks about, like, we actually have more than one purpose. But Sarah Blakely actually mentioned this. She goes, think about what makes you cry. Think about thanks, Matt. Okay, I'm going to read some of your comments and then I'll say this. Oh, you're so sweet, Nicole. I love you. That's why she sounds familiar. Yes. Thank you so much, Steve. You're amazing. I'm very empathic. Ooh, I feel all sorts of things. It's a gift. It's a gift. I'm leveraging it as a gift. It's fantastic. Anyway, Sarah Blakely, as she was talking about like how she got into Spanx and stuff and like how she came up with the ideas. One thing she talked about was like, find out like what makes you cry. Like what is something that pulls at your heartstrings so much that makes you cry? That's where your passion is. And I was like, whoa, drop the mic. One thing that makes me cry is people feeling like they're alone. Because I felt like I was alone for a very long time. And it was very isolating and sad. And I dipped down into some like really victim places but that was a long time ago. And, all my single ladies out there, it can feel, you can feel very alone at times. And you can also be in a relationship and feel alone, right? And so we got to band together. But that was something that was really interesting for me. Like it was a pretty big takeaway. And then she also said, I don't remember if this was her, Sarah, or Jesse, but where your mind wanders is where the magic is. And that's so true, because think about that. Like when you're in a place of like, relaxation and you let go, that's when those like beautiful ideas come. It's like when you're like when you're in the shower, right? Like when you're in the shower, all these beautiful ideas come about, right? Oh my God, Steve, you are so hilarious. Katie Carlson, your non-negotiables, striped shirts, puffy vest, yep. Fanny packs, absolutely. Celery, juice, sourdough, yes, absolutely. Dog walks and dancing. Heck yes, you are so right. How did you know that, Steve? God, you are so good. So good. And then I'm going to leave you with this. Kind of closing out my business mastery take. I might do another one that's a little bit more concise. This is just me off the cuff. Start small and dream big, right? Start small and dream big. Like we always feel like, thank you, Frances, if you see this. She reminded me of that today and I should have added that to my list. But start small and dream big, because sometimes we often think that it's going to be this like massive like awakening or this huge bang for our buck, right? And at the end of the day, it's these like 2 millimeter shifts, right? That create that compounding effect. And that gives you that ability to like really elevate your dreams to the next level. And that's what I've been doing. So if you've been wondering where I've been, I have been like heads down in building content, building out kind of what this next phase of my life is going to look like. And it's been really hard. It's been really scary. It's been really beautiful. It's been really joyful. It's been happy. It's been all the things. And I realize that I don't have to do everything all at once, right? It's chunking it in these little itty bitty like places and allowing myself the grace, the humility, the confidence, and the courage to really show up and put it out there. So stay tuned. It's coming. It's coming very, very soon. Nicole, you're so sweet. Oh, you're so amazing. Hello, gorgeous. Hi, Megan. Sorry. I just got a FaceTime call from my nephews. Sorry, guys. They're trying to call me again. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, I love you guys. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I really appreciate it. I know I was all over the map, and that's just kind of me. I'm working on consolidating and getting more concise. And at the same time, I just love being here, and I love seeing all of you amazing souls. So anyway, I hope you guys have the most beautiful day. I will be going live more often. I am launching a YouTube channel that I have a lot of my lives. I've gone back in and like downloaded all my lives, and it's been hilarious. So I'll share that when it's ready. And you can see all the greatest hits of Katie Carlson lives. Woohoo! Which will be hilarious. There's some good ones. There's some interesting ones. Also, I'm coming up on the 1-year anniversary of me doing a Facebook Live, which is February 14th of this year. So big stuff happening there. Big stuff. And if you've not gone live, you should definitely check it out. Oh, Matt, you're so sweet. My brother also had a baby. Or not my brother, my sister-in-law had a baby. So that's news. So I'll be coming to Texas. I'll be going to Houston soon at some point. And I'll go check in on all my Texas, Houston peeps. So it'll be fun to see all of you guys. All right. I love you all. Have the most magical rest of your week. Happy almost Friday. Friday. Woohoo. I love you. Sending you big squeezes, lots of love and light, and I'll talk to you soon. Mwah! Bye.